It's Helldiver o'clock. We have a sweet treat from the Helldivers devs. We have transmission from the game director, progressing progression. I started reading this before stream and it was so stupid I realized that we should read it together. From the game director. Today there's a lot to talk about, but let's start by talking about progression and why it's not progressing faster because you've been fucking up for 2.5 years. That's it. Anyways, I'll see the fan gang tomorrow. You've been playing for 2.5 years. Well, you've been playing everything but your own game. The way we see it, two broad categories of progression in our game: community progression, which is the community journey, and contribution to Galactic War, which is a huge nothing burger. The Galactic War has meant literally nothing since Meridia, but even that's arguable because really the last time the players had any input on the Galactic War was whatever the first name, the Creek. That was the last time we as a community got to say, hey, let's just go fuck up this planet and just go do it. Ever since then, and Meridia was kind of cool. That was the last cool event they did. But the Creek was the last time we actually contributed to the Galactic War in any meaningful way as players. And player progression, which is their personal journey and contribution to impact on the war development. Players have even less impact in the community, so whatever. We have consistently received feedback around our in-game progression plans, with players asking about level cap increases. Are those players in the room with us right now? Ain't no one ever asked about that, because levels are meaningless after like 25 or 30. And additional ship modules, you are the ones, the devs are the ones who keep talking about that. Shrimply put, we feel like previously seen progression elements like raising the level cap in Silo aren't enough and would address your feedback on a foundational level. We're going to raise the level cap, but ideally want to deepen the progression. So you admit that raising the level cap means nothing. We want there to be more valuable upgrades for every kind of player, and I just players who have unlocked 100% of all the offerings. This is beyond gaslighting. This is now a propane tank that's leaking gas, and you don't know it yet. Let's start with community progression. Some of the most epic moments in this game have been when the community worked together to achieve common goals. Everything from earning cool rewards to shit. No one gives a f about capes. And the last cool rewards weren't even that cool. The last cool reward arguably was the exosuit unlock, but that turned out to not be that cool because exosuits have been dog to shaping the lore of the universe, like unlocking the exosuit. Oh, that's what I said. Saving the children, that was another meme because the reward was so fucking ain't no one wanted anti-tank mines. We were laughing at you, not with you. Or holding line against the Illuminates on Calypso. I wasn't playing when this happened. I think that was when the Illuminates first dropped and they had like the waves of mindless. However, we want to do more to improve how players interact with the Galactic War than delete the Galactic War modifier. Let us do what we want to do again. Just delete the modifier. This blue line, the more players that are on the yellow line, it causes the blue line, the Galactic War impact modifier, to reduce how much we're impacting the Galactic War. So they literally have it rigged against us, almost 1-to-1. For example, it's never been clear if the action of the community actually led to different outcomes. That's not the point of contention. Either way, it's railroaded. That's not the point of contention. Or if it's all just smoke and mirrors, it is. If you have a game master, it's all smoke and mirrors. Even the most freeform campaign is smoke and mirrors. It is what it is. The reality is that the community impact in the Galactic War differs, but even in the cases where we did a lot of work to prepare for very different outcomes, we struggle to communicate it in game. You haven't struggled, you've just not done it. You've done literally nothing in game. Additionally, unless you join right at the start of a big event like Battle for Super Earth or Cyberstan Invasion, it's been difficult to understand what's going on. Even if that can be funny sometimes, all I know is that I must kill was never intended to be confusing for players. Then why did you confuse us? 1, what the f are you talking about? 2, then why are you doing it? You have game masters, almost as if it's their fucking job to guide us. Those and other reasons. We are launching Galactic War campaigns in June. In a nutshell, campaigns for the next evolution of major orders. They should be doing weekly weekend events. Look, they've been gaslighting and talking crazy, but let them cook. They will be roughly 1-3 weeks in length, with intention that'll always be clear what the active campaign is, how it's going, what the outcomes have been, and what's at stake. They should have had all the in-game news through here. Everything that's on Discord that's important should have been here on this terminal on your If they don't put that stuff there, they're cooked. And they can't put that screenshot here, right here, without them actually using it. If they don't use this, they have no excuse. The other thing we heard is that players like to earn more rewards, so the introduction of campaigns means there will always be at least one campaign reward if the conditions are met. You said this is the new major order, and we get rewards for major orders, so yeah, we get rewards for this. They're giving us what we already had and telling us it's new. We'll experiment with different rewards ranging from gameplay altering effects to cool items, and alongside you, we'll keep playing with this over the coming months to see what you think. It also means there is more stuff for players to work towards outside of war bonds. Pray, fire game masters. So the leaks on their next war bond is just going to be an FRV war bond because the Exosuit one didn't set their pants on fire enough. No one asked for a new FRV. We've been asking for a vehicle bay, you stupid f***s. It took them 2.5 years to reach this point of desperation, forcing them to acknowledge the problems. And they're acknowledging it in the most backhanded gaslighty way. Looking a bit further into the future, I want to talk about planet war fronts. Before we launched the game, we experimented with dynamic war fronts on planets. Players need to make strategic community decisions on a planet level in order to liberate it. So they got visited by the good idea fairy, it seems. The problem with this is that we have no tools in game to make strategic community decisions. It's just, we're blobbing around the shiny buttons. While it was promising, we realized we didn't have the content needed to do it justice at the time. You had the Galactic War at its only good state. You were this close to greatness. I didn't even mean to do this sentence by sentence roast, but holy shit, this is terrible. We feel we've now added enough You've added no content. Every time you add new content, you take it out of the game. There's nothing. To realize the vision we had for Planet Warfronts is going to be the next big. If they did think about this before launch, it was like a 1-sentence line in some design document. Next big thing they're working towards in the Galactic War. When you've seen Johan talk about experimenting with roguelite systems, he was referring to this. I am afraid they do not know what this means. When we introduce Planet Warfronts, missions will be grouped under different categories: defend, frontline, and behind enemy lines. Okay, we finally have something good to eat. Potentially, there's some good fucking food being cooked. My first thought upon reading this is PlanetSide 2 and PlanetSide 1. If we had front lines like that, that'd be kind of cool. This is at least the first thing they said that's not just blatant dog shit. Players are fight to reach key strategic locations on planets, like cities, which can have different active enemy variants in different areas of the planet. They're actually using their different sub-factions to work. If we can have the different sub-factions on each planet instead of having to rely on the GMs to do their fucking job one time a year, this would be good. The more stuff they put on autopilot, like in Helldivers 1, the better, because the game master just can't be trusted with anything. But of course, you had me in the first half. You'll still have the game masters to fuck everything up too. In the final version of this feature, there will also be gameplay altering effects and consequences for achieving planetary liberation goal. Like reaching and liberating a city within X time or disabling enemy artillery in one location to unlock crucial operations. I'm not sure what they mean by that. My guess is that, using their example, disabling enemy artillery unlocks a special operation that will give you a reward. Stage 1, you disable enemy artillery. Stage 2, you do the quote crucial operation. And for beating the crucial operation, you get some kind of temporary reward like modified stratagem colon or something. That's my guess on what they're talking about here. The intention is to make it more fun to liberate planets with their squad and deep the Galactic War and community progression systems. It took them 2.5 years, but they finally realized the game's core problem. We want liberating planets to feel unique and epic for everyone. We have some, then take your fingers out of the pot. Get your fingers out of my pot! We have some development and design work ahead to make these feel great and provide the best experience, but I wanted to share just one of the ideas we have in active development. More to come on the changes in the next few months. But what about player progression? As game director, it's important to me to make sure our players' personal motivations to play Helldivers 2 aren't in conflict with the goals of both their immediate squad or the community as a whole. All that's really coming to mind are the Chaos Divers. Maybe sometimes you sandbag a mission because of your personal or minor order to kill dudes with one specific weapon that's dog shit. For example, okay, here we go. If only I was literate and just kept reading. If you had a goal to kill 100 Biolitines and your squad didn't, you might be inclined to go, sorry guys, I've got medals to earn. Yeah, that's your fault, not the player's fault. That's the developer's fault, not the player's fault. You give the player the objective, you can't fault them for doing it. I feel that personal orders have run into the issue many times. So we are transforming that system into personal campaign progression. The intent is for every galactic war campaign to come with a personal progression reward track. This sounds like they're getting rid of the daily objectives and replacing it with stuff they're trying to get you to log in the game more often because their game is dying. Why not keep the dailies, but also do this? Why not both? That way, even if the community fails to reach a larger goal, players can still do their part toward their personal goals and get rewarded with cool things to mark their participation in various campaigns. This change won't happen with the launch of Galactic War campaigns, but we're planning to play it. Why not? It's a UI element. Lastly, let's talk about ships. We're bringing 2 big changes to Super Destroyers. We're extending gameplay progression and adding customizations to make every ship unique. Yeah, they are making more promises so you forget their previous promises. Upgrading your ship will be the most exciting for players early on in the Helldivers 2 journey. All they have to do is make samples matter again. There's so many ways they could do it in like an afternoon. Okay, immediately, here's how you make extracting with samples matter again so you're excited to play the game. All you have to do, you make it so you can purchase modifiers on your stratagems with samples. You want to turn your 380 into Napalm Barrage? Upgrade it with samples. Simple as. It reduced the bloat in the stratagem menu select, and it also gave you something to do with your goddamn samples. I don't really want to call Napalm Barrage overpowered. I think it's just overused. It's a crutch stratagem. It's a crutch for new players who are still learning the game. Just turn Napalm Barrage into an temporary upgrade that you pay for by operation or mission to upgrade your 380s to Napalm, for example, or Gatling into Napalm Gatling, for example. Or they could even do smoke into gas smoke. Look, I hate basically spouting fan fiction of what the devs could and should do. But that example I just gave is such low effort. An area that isn't really living up to its potential is the ship module system. Right now, players have the same progression path, with very little agency or ability to adapt to different play styles. And even if you're unlocked all the ship modules, ships don't really look literally the same. For that reason and more, we're working on an overhaul of the ship module system that will change how this works, by adding more player agency, significantly increasing the offerings for players to progress. Not only that, we're also adding more ships. The biggest shift we've done internally is now we have a dedicated ship team working on our first new ship. Our intention is that each new ship will have their own unique progression paths, specialization, and customizations. If you like the ships, we want to keep adding them, at least the ones that we planned so far. I don't know what new ships would mean, unless they like lock stratagems to different ships. Maybe after sleeping on it, I will hate that. I don't know if that's what they're talking about, but if that's what they're talking about, I don't hate that. One last thing I can share is a list of some upcoming fixes that we hope will improve your health. What about fixing the new render that you broke the game with? You can expect to see these changes very soon. Helldivers is able to use assisted reload as long as either the carrier or the reload weapon have the corresponding backpack. Ooh. That means that your loader can carry the supply backpack instead of making your buddy carry your backpack. If you both have the same crew weapon and the same backpacks, I wonder who will prioritize whose ammo. Probably prioritize the user of the weapon. If you're blasting with the airburst rocket launcher, and both you, the shooter, and you, your loader, have the airburst rocket launcher backpack equipped, does that essentially double how much ammo you can rapid fire off? Because that would be pretty lit. More emotes, that's nothing. I don't care. Reducing dead input on stimming. There's so many other bigger problems that I can think of, like losing a reload because you dived during it or something, or just not reloading. Further on, we're tackling stratagem bouncing. Assembled a task force to prototype fixes for this issue. Do you go back, you look at the changelogs that your development team has changelogs, right? Your development team has been documenting what they've been doing. You're not having to go back and blindly try and figure stuff out, you imbeciles. But just go back to the first year of the game when you broke this and look at what you did then and undo it. Hellpod steering. Roll back. We have to go back to the... Look, if they just wiped the game out, said, sorry guys, we're starting over, and they relaunched the game to 1.0, faults and everything, I'd be happy. I just want to play the launch of the game again. And yes, part of that is nostalgia for while everyone was still learning and no one knew the best everything. But also the game was just significantly better back then because you didn't have the Galactic War modifier, the enemy numbers weren't nerfed yet, improving enemy player traversal. I don't think the penalties are that big a deal. I never really thought about them before. Increasing level cap to 300 for some reason. Economy and resource improvements. Fixes to Warbond and Superstore menus to make the, okay, they're just cleaning it up because they have literally dozens of Warbonds. They're just cleaning up the UI. That's good. Close beta. No, they're not promising this again. No. They're promising closed beta testing again. While this is not an exhaustive list of everything we're planning, I hope it gives you some insight into what's coming up next for progression and some of the reasoning behind the path we've chosen. I can't wait to hear and read what you think and to get this into your hands. Shut up. Okay, Mr. Silly Billy. Okay. Well, that was a lot of gaslighting. Okay. Anyways, I'll see the fan gang tomorrow. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, share. Every little bit helps the little guy like me. We're so close to 500. And when I hit 500, I can apply to become a YouTube partner or whatever and get emotes. And I have fun emotes. Thanks for joining, guys.